Okay. Hey friends. I'm sitting on the floor in my bedroom because it is about to pour and there is like zero lighting in this house right now. It is wildly dark. Hello everyone, my name is Jenna. Welcome back to the Holistic Homemaker channel. In this space, I knit things, I sew things, I bake things, I do mom things, and today we're talking mom things. It's been a little bit since I posted a video. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a lot of rough Hashimoto's flare-ups that have left me like super lethargic, and it has just sucked the life out of me. It's been huge bummer where like I'm waking up in the morning and then immediately going and laying on the couch, and it's just been this constant just unleveling feeling in my body. It's just feeling real off. There's reasons why, and those reasons are exciting, and then the half of those reasons are very frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dig into the bulk of all of that, of what's going on, and then you guys will be fully up to date on some exciting news and some annoying news. And if you guys have Hashimoto's, or if you are autoimmune, let me know if this has happened to you, because in this present moment I'm confused. Exciting news first, of course. Let's do that first. So it has been quite a year, and it's flying by, but it's also just been like boom like so many crazinesses are happening. So by the time you guys see this video, I will be 14 weeks pregnant. We are officially out of the first trimester, which is super exciting, and even more exciting because I know that a lot of people with Hashimoto's or with autoimmune problems have a really hard time conceiving. So I've been incredibly lucky in the fact that we are having our second and final child. They are due at the end of September, and so we are just chugging right along. It's been a weird, like drastic difference from when I was pregnant with Jack. When they tell you that each pregnancy is different, like obviously each child is different, they're different human beings, but each pregnancy is different. Weird. Okay, it's super weird. With Jack, I was so sick. I was throwing up non-stop. I had migraines all day, every day for like the first 30 weeks of the pregnancy. It was terrible how sick I was. And the food aversions were so aggressive, but it was just two specific things. So like that was easier to just be like, none of these anymore in the house or near me, you know? So that was easier to be like, no, because they were just so violent. But I was just so like bedriddenly sick when I was pregnant with him. So it was weird being like, oh, and I don't know if it's just because I have a toddler and I have no choice but to be like a person during the day, you know, like you have to wake up, and you know, I'm really good at suppressing. That's like a specialty of mine that I don't like to brag about. But like maybe I'm like blocking out survival mode type of thing to be able to provide for my child. I don't know. But I just have, obviously in the beginning I was throwing up quite a bit. I do have some food aversions, but they're not concrete. It's like trial by trial, you know, which is worse because I don't know what's gonna make me sick. Like I opened the freezer and just looked in the freezer and I saw one thing in there, and then I had to go throw up. Like it's like, it's weird how this one is working, where it's just a day by day sickness, and I don't always throw up, but I am constantly gagging, and I feel like it's almost like a constant motion sickness, like a constant car sick feeling, where I'm just permanently nauseous. And so that's interesting too. So I'm doing the whole like tiny meals throughout the day, and I notice a huge difference if I eat a big meal. Like, oh, I'm done. Like if I eat a big meal, I'm sick. So I'm doing the whole little meal thing. I'm doing the whole, you know, pace myself and whatever. I will admit that and I regretted it every single time that I did it. But I was like, pregnancy cravings are just so specific sometimes, and you just need that thing to fulfill that craving, and an alternative is not going to fulfill said craving. So then you just obsess over it until you can have that, right? And so I veered from gluten-free and dairy-free for a couple of things. Horrifically ill, obviously, because I'm effing allergic. Horrifically ill. Horrible idea. Regretted it immediately, and I still did it with 3 different things because I was like, I have to. My brain won't stop. And then I would take a bite, I would immediately have a headache. So I've been like, when I'm craving something, I'm just fighting it as hard as I can because I cannot veer from this. It's horrible. Like, I hate that I did it. I had to do it. I know I didn't have to do it, but like I had to do it. But it's like, I regretted it immediately. It was awful. Awful, 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 awful. Especially because I've had it out of my system for over a year now. It was like a shock to my body to have gluten. And that ish was aggressive. I was very ill. I had a fever. I had a migraine. I was throwing up. It was just like not a good time. Not a good time. So pregnancy cravings, they suck because the alternative doesn't work. But I'm now just going to fight them for the rest of this pregnancy with whichever ones I have because I cannot make myself more sick. So, exciting news. We are pregnant. And Jack is undecided on how he feels. And now he's 2, but he's like very aware. And as far as communication goes, like, there's no real barriers in the communication. Like, he speaks fully and understands what I'm saying to him. He is excited that there's a baby in my belly. He seems to understand that concept. But if you say the words, are you excited to be a big brother? Or are you excited to have a brother or a sister? He's like, no! Freaks out. Like immediately. He's like, absolutely not. No way. No siblings in this house. He actually looked me dead in the face one morning and said, I'm your little guy. And I was like, you are my little guy, buddy. So the mom guilt that has come with this pregnancy has been pretty hard because I feel like I feel guilty. It's gonna change everything. And it's always like, as soon as you get in the groove, you find out you're pregnant. We are in like a groove right now. He's sleeping through the night. He's fully potty trained for over a month now. He's in school. He's doing all these things. And then we're just gonna throw a newborn in the mix to just explode the whole thing. Obviously it's a great thing, but it's still like it's a shock to the household. And I'm hoping. So with Jack, Cameron and I found out the gender, but we didn't tell anybody the gender. So it was just like a little secret between Cameron and I. And I was like, I'd really like to do that again with this one. But if Jack isn't on board by the time we find out the gender, it might make things a little bit easier to get him excited if he knows he's having a brother or a sister. So I don't know if we'll be able to really keep it a secret as much if Jack knows, because he's just so excited and so vocal. And so I was like, well, I don't, maybe we'll find it out just to make things a little bit easier. So if you had a firstborn that didn't handle it well with the news of a sibling, did you read certain books? Did you just have certain talks? Like, what did you all do to kind of ease them into that transition? I've heard things like, have the baby buy the sibling a gift, or have the sibling pick out a gift for the baby. I hear things like that to kind of I don't know, generate a relationship from the get-go, or like if you, after you give birth, you know, don't introduce your eldest to the baby with you holding the baby, because it's like a territory thing. Like, I'm hearing all these different things, but I want to know what worked for you, because I'm really nervous that Jack is not going to handle it well, because he is still my Velcro baby. Like, even though he's a kid now, he's still very much like very lovey, very cuddly, very much connected with me. I'm very nervous that this is gonna really upset him. So let me know what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Now we're gonna walk ourselves into the frustrating bit of this. Now, last time I was pregnant with Jack, I was, like I said earlier, I was unbelievably sick. And my OB, who I have the same one this time, she's amazing. She sent me out to all these different referrals. And I'm sure you, like, if you guys have been with me for a while, like, those videos are still on here, you know, they're everywhere. But I went to neurology. I went to all these different people trying to figure out what is wrong. I went to rheumatology. Who else did I go to? I went to one other specialist because I had Raynaud's at the time. I had Hashimoto's at the time, but I didn't know that yet. Had Hashimoto's for a hot damn minute and didn't know. Mainly because none of these doctors would do the proper tests. So I was really, really sick with Jack. Obviously, my body wasn't producing any hormones to have a baby. So nobody would deal with me because I'm pregnant, which birthing people will know and always say, no doctors are going to deal with you because you're pregnant, you're a risk, and they don't understand pregnancy, okay? So I'm kind of in a similar boat this time, which is so crappy. So I go to a holistic doctor in my town, and they have me on a plethora of supplements, okay? All of which are, we took out the ones that aren't safe for pregnancy, and I'm taking, well, was taking the ones that are safe for pregnancy. And we do a whole panel of blood work. Trash, bad blood work, no good. I go to my OB, who's like, and then I do the whole big pregnancy panel, and she tells me, you have to stop taking all of these medications immediately. You have to stop taking them because your thyroid is hypo, not hyper. And I was like, well, how did it flip in the last week? That doesn't make any sense. And so I'm calling my doctor, I'm not getting a call back. So I'm going to listen to my OB, who tells me to stop taking everything because she's like, this is a risk to your baby now. Like, okay. It wasn't bad for the baby, but it was bad for me, which means it's bad for the baby, you know. So I was like, okay, I am confused. And I finally go to my doctor, and she's like, that's malpractice. You need to be taking all of these medications. What? And so I was like, I don't understand how one doctor's saying one thing, another is saying another. Neither one of them are endocrinologists. Neither one of them are autoimmune specialists. So I'm just in this position now where I'm taking zero medication, which is why I'm having flare-ups like a MFer right now. I'm taking zero medication. Only thing I'm taking is folate, vitamin D, and a vitamin B, methylated vitamins, and folate. And so I was like, okay, you guys aren't agreeing on this. I need you two to communicate, first of all, because I'm not going to be in this battle of malpractice between the two of you, because one's saying one and one's saying the other, and they both want to fight each other. I'm like, go duke it out. Just give me a friggin' answer. So I am now in a spot where I am starting to get, the migraines are coming back. The feelings of just being so like cripplingly fatigued. And so it's been really tricky lately. And so what I did was like, okay, screw the two of you. I'm going to go ahead and schedule with an endocrinologist. When can they see me? October. I'll have a whole other freaking human being in the world by then. I'll be in postpartum chaos then. So I've been calling around to a few different thyroid centers, and one of my girlfriends who doesn't have Hashimoto's, but she has hypothyroid, she suggested a thyroid center that's about 2.5 hours away. And so they can see me in May, and I'm hoping it's not an endocrinologist, but it is a thyroid specialty center. So they got to have one on staff, I would think. I don't know, but it's just been very frustrating as far as my treatment goes yet again. And like before, I was feeling really good. I was taking the testosterone shots. I was taking, not as many supplements. She changed my supplements completely when we found out I was pregnant. And so those ones were making me feel like crap. Like those were making me feel really, really rough. And coming off of the testosterone shots that was really rough too, because they gave me like that little oomph that you need, So it's like I feel like I'm just lacking in so much right now as far as my actual health goes, which is very, very frustrating because I've made it such a huge priority to take action in the last 2 years, and it's just been like we're starting back over again. And that sucks. That's always like, that's a sucky feeling. So first trimester was not very active one, guys. Like I've just been kind of laying here and I haven't had much motivation to do much. I do feel a little bit of motivation coming back, which is really nice. It's really, really nice. I have some new girlfriends that have been amazing little influences in helping me kind of feel inspired again. The first trimester is really, really hard. It's really, really hard, like for everybody. But if you throw in, something else to just lay on top of that crappy feeling, it's a little bit rough. So I'm doing my best. We're chugging along and we're working our way through second trimester now. We did just have my birthday last week, which was so much fun. We took Jack on his first camping trip. So we took him on a camping trip before, right? But it ended up being like 20 degrees and us being super unprepared. So we had to leave. This time it was a success. We stayed overnight. We stayed the whole weekend. And that's how I turned 32, which is super exciting. We cooked a bunch of really good food, and Jack had an absolute blast. We went to the Lake Warren State Park. It's about an hour away from where we live, and it is such a good state park. Like it is. Like there's one in Charleston that we were like, well, maybe we'll go there. $150 a night to stay at the state park in Charleston. $20 a night to stay at Lake Warren. That sounds more on key for me. And so we it's one campground. And so we're the only people there. There's a nice dock right on the lake. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right up the road, there's a bunch of these really awesome trails. And it was just a great time. Jack, oh my gosh, he had so much fun. He was just doing sprints and digging in the dirt and just having the time of his life. So we had a really, really great time. And Jack and I are going to start going on a couple of solo trips here pretty soon. We have one planned, not next week, but the following week, where I'm just going to take him out on a little adventure for the weekend, and I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to really soak in these moments where it's just me and him, and kind of, I don't know, make and film some really nice lasting memories, because this is our last little bit. We only have a couple months left of it just being the three of us, so it's really weird, and I'm trying to make those memories really stick for all of us, so we have this like core time of just being the trio, because I feel like, because Jack is like a little bit older, the people that I know that have two kids, the gaps are much smaller, right? So they only had like a year with their baby. Like Jack's a year and a half or 2.5 almost, so he's a full kid. I want to be able to really soak in these moments before this next one comes, and I'm really excited about the adventures that we're doing this spring and into the summer. And then in the fall, we're just going to be cocooning at home, and it's going to be nice and nice and cozy. Lots of transitions, lots of changes and shifts and all kinds of stuff happening this year. But if you guys don't mind, please let me know what worked for you when you were transitioning into bringing another child into your home. And if you have Hashimoto's or any kind of autoimmune issues when you were pregnant, what did your doctor say to you as far as medication and treatment and things like, did they pull you off everything, or is that like super extreme? Or, you know, what did they do for you? Because I'm at a loss on who I should listen to, so I'm just not doing anything. And I don't know if that's the best thing to do or if that's the worst thing to do, but either way, it's making me feel like crap. So any help would be magnificent. All right, guys, that's the end of this little spiel. I will see you all in the next one. If you like this video and follow along in this crazy pregnancy journey, along with all of the other fun things that I do on this channel, please like and subscribe to this video. It's been really cool watching this. I say it every time, but it's really cool watching people just kind of trickle into this space, and I hope that you enjoy it. I will see you guys later. Bye.